And we are live. What is going on, everyone? It's your boy Johnny Dunn, and we are back with another one. Today, another epic VeVe live stream. No drop today, but we do have a VeVe community update from the Ecomi team, Dan and David. They're going to be dropping a video in about 10 minutes or so. So it's going to be definitely exciting to see what the Ecomi team has to say. It's been a little while now since they've given us an update on the recent news, progress on things that we've been waiting on. So it's always exciting anytime they drop any kind of video updating the community. So we're going to be going over that live together. If you guys got any questions for me, you can put it in the chat down below. Appreciate y'all big time. Till then, I'm going to be playing some Pineapple Gang music while I set everything up, tweet out the link and everything.
This is the quick story of...
I just want to make sure you guys can hear this first. Got to make a thumbnail and everything first, too. Actually, thumbnail's already created. Shout out to Pineapple Gang. Anybody who's into music, you know, check out that new album, Non-Fungible. Dropped on all platforms. Shout out to Pineapple Gang. Anybody, just want to make sure you guys can. So it's going to be definitely exciting to see what the Ecomi team has. So we're going to be going over that live too, about the link and everything. All right, cool. You guys can hear it.
How I became a millionaire.
Fire.
Bullish on that cryptocurrency, yeah, you know it. Ever since the pandemic, we've been really on it. Bullish on it, cop that NFT every morning. On me millionaire, lifestyle never boring. Moon boy, watch some charts start soaring. Crypto to a Lambo, it's a foreign. I've been all around.
We doing Miss Rose?
We've been touring. FOMO, fear, missing out while we scoring. On me millionaire. Cause you know when it rains, it be pouring. We was all investing, they was snoring. Now look at my collection, it's enormous. Millionaire. Bullish on that cryptocurrency, yeah, you know it. Ever since the pandemic, we've been really on it. Bullish on it, cop that NFT every morning. On me millionaire, lifestyle never boring. Meet me there, on the moon, it's important. Thank you to everybody that supported. Now we poppin' champagne, that's important. And we kept playing the game, ain't aborted. Solid diamond hands are rewarded. On me millionaire. Trip out to the tropics where it's gorgeous. Gotta protect my wealth for the fortress. Someone show me I could probably be on Forbes. On me millionaire.
Such a fire song. Shout out to It's Wonderful, man.
Bullish on that cryptocurrency, yeah, you know it. Ever since the pandemic, we've been really on it. Bullish on it, cop it NFT every morning. On me millionaire, lifestyle never boring.
Let's go. That's my guy right there. Wait till we drop the Gary V video. Let's go. Wait till we drop the VeVe Vault video. Woo! What's another one? Let's put us in the mood. This one's just different. This one just hits different, y'all. Facts. Shout out to everybody joining the chat today. Got Ronnie Lido, Miss Rose, J East, The Palace.
VeVe and Disney, NFC Mickey, don't go to moments. Man, I got plenty. I got a goofy by my convention. Oh, me and my wallet rocky, cause we rock with Disney.
I'm not sure.
Cop all that Disney. I flip my way up. Hey, let's get busy. I'm with my game, yeah. Family friendly. I play the game, yeah. And touch the melody. You call me Letty. They rock with Disney. Don't go to moments. I need about 50. VeVe and Disney. They got them dizzy. We pass the moon, yeah. We gon' keep winning. Bridges on true. For me and you. Ecomi did it, yeah. With the crew. I'm talking Dan. And David, you. Reese and Trevor. And Alice too. Just to name a few. Ecomi and Beast. They put Disneyland in digital. I be on the VeVe. I just caught me an original. Had to trust the vision, but right now it's looking visible. He a paper hand for the spreader, so despicable.
Ooh.
We been going up
Like a missile do.
All they exposed, unpredictable. Ooh, NFT flipper, why me run it up too? All these major brands on the middle. Ooh, I am Max, Disney NFT, I invest. Hold up, I just told my baby that we blessed. We was on it early, then the rest. VeVe and Disney, NFT making, don't go the moment. Man, I got plenty. I got a Gucci, by my convention. Oh, me and my wallet rocket, cause we rock with Disney. NFT frenzy, cop all that Disney. I flip my way up, hey, let's get busy. I'm with my game, yeah, family friendly. I play the game, yeah, and touch the melody. Ecomi lady.
I'm gonna put the link to the actual video in the bio as well.
VeVe and Disney, it got them dizzy. We pass the moon, yeah, you gon' keep winning.
So if anyone wants to tune into the original link. How can I find that VeVe verse? Is it up there? Premieres in 6 minutes. Am I late? 5 minutes? Ronnie Leda, how you watching already? Am I late on this video or what? I'm gonna go back and play the banger. It's probably one of my favorite songs. Omi Millionaire. Shout out to Randy in the beginning too. Oh, he rewinded the live feed. Okay, got you. We only got 5 more minutes left. Look how fast this live chat's going. Holy cow. You know, that's one thing I want to talk about too, guys, real quick is, you know, I think the frustration comes with, you know, a built-up frustration of delays and everything like that. And everybody loves VeVe so much. You know, we're so passionate about things. And so we all want things to be perfect right away, like right now, you know. But just realize that great things take time. And it's just been a blessing to be here so early on. Because I am 100% confident that one day VeVe will have hundreds of millions of people on the app. Now, I know that sounds crazy to imagine because the app is what it is right now and it's kind of hard to hold that many users. But this is the very first iteration. Eventually, when we have the web app, imagine 3 to 5 years from now, right? I mean, 2 million users in just the first year. That can almost guarantee tens of millions of users. And then if you just fast forward that, you know, another handful of years, it's going to be unbelievable. Let's go, the VeVe Vault song. Shout out to you, Ronnie Lido. Shout out to C. Rios in the building as well. It's Rider Hen. Knight Rider in the building. We got Austin. Shout out to everybody. The Sunky 21. How we doing? How we doing, fam? Another 3 minutes. This song's 2 minutes, so it'll be perfect time.
Google Career Certificates provide online training for in-demand jobs. Train for jobs in...
This is the quick story of how I became a millionaire.
Omi millionaire. Omi millionaire. Well, it's on that cryptocurrency, yeah, you know it. Ever since the pandemic, we've been really on it. Well, it's on that cop NFT every morning. Omi millionaire. Lifestyle never boring. Moon boy, Watch some charts start soaring. Crypto to a Lambo, it's a foreign. I've been all around the VeVe verse, we been touring. FOMO, fear, missing out while we scoring. On me millionaire, 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 millionaire. Cause you know when it rains, it be pouring. We was all investing, they was snoring. Now look at my collection, it's enormous. On me millionaire, 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 millionaire. Bullish on that cryptocurrency, yeah, you know it. Ever since the pandemic, we've been really on it. Bullish on it, copping NFT every morning. On me millionaire, lifestyle never boring. Meet me there, on the moon, it's important. Thank you to everybody that supported. Now we poppin' champagne, that's important. And we kept playing the game, ain't aborted. Solid diamond hands are rewarded. On me millionaire, 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 millionaire. Trip out to the tropics where it's gorgeous. Got protect my wealth for the fortress. Someone show me I could probably be on Forbes. On me millionaire, 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 millionaire. Bullish on that cryptocurrency, yeah, you know it. Ever since the pandemic, we've been really on it. Bullish on it, copping NFT every morning. On me millionaire,
Let's go.
lifestyle never boring.
60 seconds. Let's go, fam. This feels like a VeVe drop, doesn't it? Let's go. 60 seconds. Man, this is exciting. I think, this just shows, how much we love VeVe, how much we want to hear from the Ecomi team. It's been a little bit. It used to be every week they used to provide updates, and then it used to be every other week. And I think they're just extremely busy right now. That's probably why we haven't heard from them in a while. So it's kind of a good thing, when you don't hear from them, just because they're working hard. But, it's always going to be good every time you do finally hear from these guys. I'm not sure if it's just going to be David and Dan or if Alex is going to be in there interviewing them or what. But I don't know. I know I'm excited. I'm sure everybody else is excited too. Let's go. VeVe Las Vegas in the building. JD gonna hit this drop too. Let's go. It does feel like a VeVe drop. I'm getting that same feeling right now. It's hilarious. I mean, that shows how much I want to hear from the team. I'm sure you guys want to hear from the team. I think the community just wants to hear from the team, It's been a little while. A lot of people, a lot of concerns, a lot of FUD. So, I know. I think they're going to squash a lot. Now, don't get your hopes up, guys. I don't think they're going to drop any kind of groundbreaking announcement or anything like that. But you never know, right? They could surprise us. Just don't get your hopes up on anything, like a P-word announcement coming soon or anything like that. I think they're mostly just going to probably provide us progress, where they're at on a lot of updates. Yeah, anybody hit perfect timing today? Miss Rose, you finally get one. That's hilarious. Let's go. If there's another countdown, we're going to be upset. I can't even see it. Look how fast this chat's going, guys. Holy cow. Orlando got the secret rare. Let's go. I should put out a tweet. Good luck on the drop, everybody. It feels like it. Yeah, look out the comments, guys. It's crazy. Going so fast. We got Kelvin in the building. Let's go, fam. Look at Kelvin's mod name coming up in blue. Let's go. Yeah, VeVe's going to need some mods in there, too. Why won't VeVe open? Shout out to Mohammedi. Yeah, shout out to you, Ronnie Lido. I mean, the dip has been amazing for a lot of people. I mean, it's provided a lot of opportunity. This live stream may ended up not monetized because I've played so much Pineapple Gang's music in there. But I think he'll probably get the monetization of it. I'm not sure. I just talked to him a little bit. Shout out to It's Wonderful if you're watching, my brother. I'm not sure what the yellow strike means. So, run up the views. I think all the money will go to him. Unless the super chats. Super chats will go to me, but the views, I'm pretty sure it'll go to him. I'm not positive on that, but because I played so much of his music, I would think it picks it up. And I'm not sure what the yellow strike means. I think the yellow strike means it won't get copyrighted or the monetization will go to him. I'm not too positive. Yeah, that chat is crazy over there. I see some people's names that I recognize. Let's go. I see Pineapple Gang in the chat. Let's go. It's crazy. Seriously, VeVe is an opener. You mean the app, Mohammedi, or you mean in the video? I think 3,000 people are waiting. Wow. This is amazing. This just shows me, guys, how passionate we love VeVe so much to where, we want things to be perfect right now. Just realize that eventually time will come where VeVe is perfect. You can bet Disney's probably going to, promote VeVe all over the place one day. You probably see commercials with them. You'll probably see your boy JD in some commercials hopefully one day. Man, I'm so excited I can't even talk again today. My mind's racing at 1,000,000 miles a second right now. Probably as fast as this chat. Let's go! My app's working for me. Just the market's down. They're sweating right now. Alright, we going for the drop. 22 seconds left, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to APB. Bye now. Let's go.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Well, what are we doing here? This is the first in a series of overall kind of State of the Union type updates that we're going to be doing on a fairly regular basis to make sure everybody stays in the loop on all things VeVe and Ecomi. And just so we know, everything said here is just for community update purposes, not financial advice. That said, I'm Alex G., head of marketing here at VeVe, and I'm joined today by co-founder and COO Dan Crothers and co-founder CEO Mr. David Yu. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well, doing great. Thanks, Alex.
I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, even though I do pretty much talk to you every day, but the community hasn't seen you in quite some time. So very excited to get these old school kind of video updates I think we've done before my time here back into circulation. So really excited to get through a bunch of things today. I'd mentioned on Twitter that has now become another one of my adjective memes, that it was going to be a meaty update. And so that is the new spicy, apparently. So, shame on me for using adjectives. But we have a meaty update today, lots of things to get through. And I think with that, we'll just get right into it. First off, starting with a few updates, ongoing things. We just kind of want to always do some FUD busting off the top. Dan, we are still seeing a fair amount of error messaging sometimes during drops, and that is things like heavy server load. Phone does not meet security requirements. Can you give us an update about what might be happening there and how we're getting around those issues for people?
Yep, absolutely. So to kick off with the second one with the security updates, obviously, as you guys know from our previous AMAs, I know that's going back a while, but we are doing a lot of work to keep bots out of the system. And often that is, finding a right balance. Sometimes that balance might go a little bit too far and, we get what's called a false positive, and we're seeing that security requirement message. So do apologize for anyone who has been affected by that. It is like I say, a nice ongoing balance that we are working very hard on. Secondly, the heavy server load message. Ultimately, that kind of comes down to the drop model that we're using right now. I've mentioned a couple of times in previous AMAs that the current drop model, while it's fun and exciting, it does put a lot of load on the servers, and we still have so many new users coming into the platform. However, the good news is that when we move to the waitlist system, which we'll have an update on that shortly, the system will run significantly more smooth, just to the general mechanics of how that works. So I know we have a couple of updates getting rolled out this week to try and minimize that heavy server load message, but ultimately when we roll out the waitlist, which is not far off now, that will be heavily reduced.
Great. Yeah, so that is perfect. Thank you very much for that. And hate to get off on that foot of FUD busting, but it's always the most questions we get on a daily basis, and sometimes when people experience that. So tell us a little more about the roadmap in terms of fixing some of the just general app functionality, like search and bookmarking seems to be not working for some people in the app.
Yeah,
currently.
So, right now we're internally, we've been, and this is, to be honest, one of the reasons you haven't seen us, that we've obviously been going through, massive work on the app internally. We've got drops that need to be adhered to, for licensor reasons, and then we're constantly making improvements in the back end of the app. Some of them may not really be that apparent, but, the dev team's working very hard just to try to make the overall experience better. Now, one of the features that we will be working on very early in Q2 is upgrading the search system. So it's just a lot easier. You can search by edition numbers. You can have better filters. You can search for comics, all of that stuff. So early Q2 will be kicking off the search updates. And the bookmark one, it's so random. Sometimes in the app, these things just work perfectly for 12 months, and then all of a sudden they have a problem. So devs are absolutely aware of it, and we know it's a highly trafficked feature. So I hope to have a fix rolled out for that in the next update.
Perfect, thank you. Speaking of updates, we just saw a few updates come to the app, including updates to the market tab and some other things. If we want to cover that quickly.
Yep, absolutely. So we decided that for a couple of reasons that the main update we'd make to the market landing page is to show the trending results rather than latest individual collectibles. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. One is server load. We just need to make sure that, because the market is the highest trafficked area in the app, and we need to keep a lot of these screens very optimal. However, you can still go to market collectibles if you want to, see all of the latest listed that's coming in. And the whole idea around the trending was basically that, we see patterns in the app where we do a drop, and then the most sought after item in the market after a drop is the drop collectibles. And that's one of the reasons that we've updated the market landing page to show trending over the last 24 hours. So, for those of you who missed out on a drop, it's going to be more than likely right there in front of you on the market.
Perfect. Great. All right, so let's get into some roadmap stuff. I know there's kind of a general turning of the tide as of late on our socials, people needing updates, right? As you mentioned, you guys haven't been on the latest AMAs because you've been hard at work. There's a lot to do, obviously. So Reese and I have been kind of holding down the fort, but it's always good to hear from the boss men themselves about general and larger scale kind of platform updates, kind of address some of the frustrations of the VeVe fam in general. And those are things like, obviously, the difficulty and landing a drop. I know I'm frustrated as well. I have not landed a drop in many, many moons.
He's got to tune in.
Let's talk about some of the things that we're doing to, improve the way people experience the app from a security standpoint to make sure that bots aren't, running rampant within the experience. And one of those things is that we get suggested a lot to do is to implement KYC. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Definitely. From our perspective, we will absolutely be introducing KYC into the app. I mean, ultimately, we want to make sure the experience for all of our users is fair and democratic, and we also want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to remove these nefarious actors from the platform. Now, in saying that, I'm not saying that bots still run rampant. As I've mentioned, there always are bots, and it's very much a whack-a-mole kind of game. However, yeah, we will be introducing KYC. Right now, the laws here in New Zealand around KYC are very strict. As in, New Zealand has actually put a line in the sand to say that we want to be the hardest country in the world to launder money. So that's very good in the sense of, protecting our users and improving the experience, but it also means there's a lot of compliance on our side that we need to do, especially in this new age of digital assets where things are still a bit sort of fuzzy to some degree. So KYC will be rolled out. Basically, the way it'll work is that onboarding users will need to KYC at some point during the onboarding, and any existing users will, when the KYC is rolled out, they will be prompted to KYC when they next log into the app. Now, don't worry, we're going to give you guys plenty of warning on when this needs to happen and the whole general sort of process. But really looking forward to getting this feature rolled out because it's going to improve the overall experience within the product.
And then, in addition to that, it's probably going to help the fact that we have, basically when we find bots, for instance, in the market, that their plan seems to be that they have all of these accounts and they all send gems and collectibles back to the single account to then list on the market. But the KYC will actually help that in some regard. Is that correct?
Significantly. I mean, ultimately, as part of the KYC and the anti-money laundering compliance here in New Zealand, there are a few updates that we will actually need to make on the app in order to comply and also to help combat the points like Alex just mentioned. So one of the first features that will be updated within the next week, I believe, is the removal of gem transfers. So under KYC laws, under AML laws, technically they are assets and they can't be moved around between different users. And the other big upside is, as Alex mentioned, we see the bot patterns of what they do, buying gems, distributing them. So removing that feature alone is really going to, significantly hurt the bots in terms of their current practices.
Wow, that's great news. I think the community will definitely be glad to hear that.
This is great news.
Perfect. Okay. Let's move on then to, we talked about the gems transfer removal. Let's talk about then the other hot topic of every day, and that is payout /MTL/cash out. Where are we at with beta testing?
Yeah, so we are still in live beta test at the moment. We have our group of beta users. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this New Zealand compliance law is something that's been upgraded fairly recently, and that ultimately is what's caused a bit of delays on our side. So things like, we have auditors going through everything that we're doing, and that's where they're picking up things like you need to move gem transfers before, we can start really rolling out these features. So ultimately the tech is there, we're ready to go. We're just down to these final things with compliance. We really have been there for a while, but it is just these, the laws in New Zealand here, which ultimately are a good thing, even though they're causing us a little bit of extra work at the moment. Yeah,
I feel that.
Say that, we are absolutely aware that, payout is a feature that everyone wants. And yeah, we're not resting on our laurels on it. We are very in touch with what the community is saying and what they want. So please be rest assured that we are working hard to get this feature rolled out for everyone.
That's big.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's also worth noting that, there's a completely different teams working on implementing the KYC and the MTL than there are people who kind of, implement the drops. So when people suggest that we stop drops and focus on MTL, it's just really two different things. And we are, after all, a collectibles app, so we want to enable collecting. So
yeah, stopping the drop would speed up really anything.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about then, kind of the rollout as we mentioned, there have been delays over since when we first started mentioning this on Twitter, and people love to refer us back to those early tweets that say, "Hey, we should be good to go in 2 weeks," as with many things. But at the end of the day, we have tried to do our best to keep everybody updated in terms of the goalposts moving, so to speak. I think I've said in the way I've kind of put it in the past. So thank you for shedding some more light on that. But I think the overall kind of KYC portion of this is going to have far-reaching implications across the app, and I think it's just going to be a positive thing for the community and the ecosystem as a whole. So let's then move to as we continue to move live beta testers in. Let's talk about the fee structure, which seemed to be also a hot topic as we put that article out now several weeks ago. David, can you tell us a little bit about how that all works and why the 10%, et cetera?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Before we put all these fees and terms and conditions structure in place, we look through the whole fundamental of our business. And as every user acknowledges that right now, our payment mechanism and platform of payment are through the Apple Pay, which collected by the Apple App Store, as well as the Google Play Store, which is the Android payment mechanism. Both of the platform, all our users understand that they do take a fee of 30% when you are purchasing the gems. That's number one. And number two is we do pay in each of these 282 plus jurisdictions or regions, countries, sales tax. And these are the digital tax and the sales tax that you will normally face day to day in each of the shops that you go to retail. Right now, in a lot of these regions, that VeVe as an app is bearing all these costs. So therefore, just giving you an example, the $100 gems that you purchase, when it does land into our bank account, sometimes it's as low as we only get 55% of that. So to balance the ecosystem a bit better, we do have to introduce these withdrawals. And there's a couple of reasons why we brought this in. Number one is the deterrent for anti-money launderers. So people is not just really using credit cards to launder money from one account to another with no fees involved. And number two is really what I mentioned there, is to keep the buffer to ensure the liquidity and the cash ecosystem going. Now, it is very important that our users do understand that you do not need to purchase gems ahead of a drop. And with the new update coming up, this will further, to put this message out, because you'll be allocated these collectibles to purchase, and then you will be paying at the checkout at that time. And obviously, we're going to see a few of these reducing fees will be coming out once we start the website. And when we roll out the website, there will be a payment gateway where we no longer have to pay some of the service provider these heavy platform fees.
Got it. So with the web version, the web platform, that'll serve as a way around the Google and Apple ecosystems. Not so much around, but it'll reduce some of those fees that are automatically. And our audience really should understand that as part of our roadmap originally 3.5 years ago, and the landscape is ever changing. That's why we're changing the ability to have the withdrawal. Is that at the start when we built the app, we never actually intended to have this withdrawal function, or what we call the payout. So this become a big burden on us, and for us to execute and for us to learn. Some of the newer apps or some of the newer platforms are out there. They have that in their roadmap exactly built in as part of when they develop it. So for us to go back in and really to focus on the technology and build that, it does take a lot longer. And as we progress, the laws are changing. What Daniel had mentioned, the KYC and the MML law is constantly being upgrading. So it is important for us to decide, do we put something in place now that is going to be future-proof, at least for
not a short-term patch up for 3 months and our user found out, well, the payout is going to stop because we're doing another upgrade. So we want to ensure everything runs smooth. And with all these moving parts, unfortunately, I'm here to apologize that we will, we have paid a lot of attention and to ensure this is rolled out.
Great. Okay, so in terms of rollout, obviously we've talked about we have a group of beta testers in that are doing specific tasks. Just want to reiterate that it is not an early access thing. It is specifically beta testing to make sure that we're uncovering any of the bugs and things like that. This is. Can you talk about? Are we still on track with the plan of kind of randomly assigning people in the community beta access moving forward, or where are we at with that rollout? And can we communicate our progress on that ongoing?
Yeah, so you are correct, Alex. We will be randomly choosing users who basically meet the criteria of the payout and inviting them into the beta program. Once we are at the point where we have got everything kind of nailed down, especially in terms of the compliance and the points that I mentioned earlier. So we just need to be careful that we're basically following the laws and we're really above board on everything we do with this, because KYC AML is a very hot topic around the world right now. And to touch on what David said is that really we are aiming to put a long-term solution in place that is scalable. We can roll out other features in the future. So so when we are at that point, then we will basically start bringing users in. And we will, of course, for those users who may have higher gem balances, we may prioritize them to ensure that they can get returns out of their accounts.
But it won't be limited to people with high gem balances, correct?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right.
I'm saying that we may include those, or maybe give some of those people a little bit more weight at the randomization. But obviously, understand that everyone wants to cash out their gems if you've got 1,000 gems in there.
And we'll need some of those higher balances to make sure that everything is working properly, obviously, because if we just did people with just the $1,000 gem threshold, then we're not really fully testing the full spectrum of withdrawal.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
And just as another note, as part of the whole beta testing, we have experienced a vast new things that we never thought it will happen in our lifetime. There's our payout provider facing sanctioned countries, limitations. So all these new updates all constantly has been running. And, in the past week, there has been slight bottlenecks on our testing process from when we load them in and when they're able to exit. What we don't want is have it available for everyone, and that bottleneck is bigger and bigger, and then we get more FUD from the community. We only want to put out things that we know is going to work and it's going to be a solution moving forward.
Yeah, and also to add to that, really what we're rolling out immediately is the global solution. And, we could choose specific region to roll out. That is significantly easier than, rolling something out on a global platform. So that's why we say, we just want to get a very solid solution that serves all of our customers worldwide and get that out. But also to, what Dave mentioned earlier, we do apologize for the delays, and we know that it is something, very much that the community wants. We are working very hard to get it across the line.
Yeah, great. Okay, let's move on then. Another question we get quite frequently is comics in the showroom. Can you talk about where we're at with that?
Progress update.
Yes, and I also get a lot of stick from everyone in the company as well, because they're like, Daniel, just get damn comics in showroom. And it absolutely is moving up the list, but there are, I don't want to prioritize comics in showroom over payout or over the web platform or over KYC. I mean, these are core fundamental things that we, as a business, we should be focused on. However, we are still chipping away at what we're doing with comics in showroom. So we're down to the last little bit now, where Actually, yeah, I won't say it because I don't think we've sort of discussed how we're going to be displaying comics and showroom at the moment. We'll save that for a nice reveal at some point. But again, do hear you. My job is to prioritize, what I feel the key features are from a business level, yeah.
Okay, let's move on then. The other hot topic, or one of the other hot topics rather, waitlist, commonly known as the drop queue, or basically anything other than what we have now, fastest finger. Where are we at with the waitlist?
Let's go.
Fastest finger in the West. Waitlist is coming along very well. That is has been in our staging test environment for a number of weeks now. We've run a number of test drops. Everything's gone very well. We're still in the process of doing the load testing, which basically just confirms that the waitlist will work very well under pressure with 1 to 200,000 users trying to join that waitlist at the time. Now, in April, we should be rolling out the first waitlist drop, and I think I may have mentioned previously that for the initial period when we roll out the waitlist, we will still have the 2 drop models. Yep. So we're going to choose some specific drops. Maybe it's going to be some cool VeVe collectible paraphernalia or something, and then users can basically come in and participate in that waitlist drop. From that, we can get a very good understanding of how things, work out there in the real production world with the waitlist. And from then on, once we feel very confident with it, we're basically just going to make the switch. And now, for those users who may not know, the waitlist basically is a randomization feature when it comes to the drop. So as the drop approaches the drop time, 15 minutes before that, you will be able to join the waitlist. And then at the time of the drop, the system will basically randomly choose users on that waitlist, and then you'll basically get a notification in-app to say that, hey, you've been selected, and then you can go in and now buy the edition. So a couple of key reasons we're doing this is, number one, it's going to get rid of the majority of the heavy server load. It's going to resolve some of the issues people have buying gems during the drop time, and it's also just significantly more democratic. Plus, it gives us a lot more time to scan users on the wait list leading up to the drop. So overall, I think it's going to be a far more positive experience, and your odds of getting collectibles are going to go up.
Great. And so, just to kind of touch quickly on
the
drop time, the heavy server load, and some people reporting that their gem purchases are failing at time of collectible reservation. Those are kind of related, right? So the drop wait list will essentially kind of alleviate all of that.
Absolutely, correct? Yeah. Because, like I said, the current drop system is very heavy on the server. Even though everything is very very streamlined, we basically just need to move to a more efficient drop model, which is why we've been developing the wait list for the past sort of 4 months or so.
Okay, so first test in April, and then hopefully rolling out in May. Is that what I heard?
Yep.
If I'm to keep you to timelines.
yeah, should be May. Just assuming that everything does go fine.
Sure.
With the testing, obviously there's going to be a little bit of a test period there, but I mean, ideally, we always want to get these features out as fast as we can. Dave and I aren't just sitting there going like, hey, how many drops can we do this month? We really do want to get them out quickly, but it also means that they require quite a bit of development time, because all of these things are basically tailor-made custom solutions for the VeVe platform. It's not like we can just go plug in, a feature that we subscribe to for $10 a month. It's a lot of involved development.
Got it. Okay. Moving on then, let's talk about MCP, Master Collector Program. Where are we with that?
So MCP is still going along well. I think we've got the majority of the back-end work done. I was just talking to the developer the other day about, some of the final calculations. So once all of that is basically set up in the back end, from early Q2, we'll basically be kicking off development on all the front end, getting all the interface done, building what the back end guys have done into the front end, And that's going to include the features that we have already outlined in our Master Collect Program article on our Medium channel, and we are rolling it out in the phases that we've listed at the bottom there.
Yeah, I'll include the link to that blog article in the description, so make sure you check that out if you're not familiar with it. But just to quickly touch on MCP, just so everybody's quite aware, those points are retroactive from the day you joined. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. Yep. It would be rude not to.
Yeah, just want to reinforce that so nobody's losing out on the points that you've worked out. Worked so hard in collecting. Okay, great. That's helpful. I think that'll go a long way in, making, adding some light gamification to our collecting efforts.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, the other thing we do get a lot of questions on is now that we've migrated to L2 with Immutable X, when is interoperability happening? Can we see the metadata and the Mutascan data, sales history data, so people can make better and more informed decisions about what they're buying on the market, and can see generally the, who has owned these things before, and can just generally be more informed about the ownership of their collectibles?
Yeah, so two points there. So number one, in terms of the historic value and the ownership, that is something that we'll be building into our platform. So when you actually are in the market or you're viewing a collectible you own, you will be able to see all the previous owners, get graphs of the sales
That's
history,
huge.
highs, lows, that kind of thing. Very soon, I believe in a couple of weeks, the developer will be starting on, the metadata that comes with the collectibles. So that, when you view it on IMX or Mutascan, you will be able to see, the metadata. You see the image, the name, the edition, the current owner, all of those kind of features will be built in. And yeah, most of the NFT, Omi stuff, which I know we're going to touch on shortly, we have a lot of that slated in our Q2 roadmap. So there's a few key things that we need to get out of the way this quarter. And then we'll really be starting to dive more heavily into these features like MCP, etc.
Great. And just to be clear, some of those things that we were waiting for in terms of interoperability, for instance, Mutascan data is largely IMX dependent, meaning that they are still kind of onboarding, for instance, OpenSea to the platform.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Yep. Right. Yep. So we're working very closely with them, just keeping up to date on where they're at with the marketplaces and various features that we need to roll that out.
All right. Perfect. All right, David, let's go back to you. We've been kind of mentioning, this over the last several months that this was coming. We have yet to kind of formally name it, give it a proper name on the VeVe side, but we have been kind of generally referring to our artist program as Artist Alley. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is and where we're at with it?
Yeah, as all our fans know, we pay a big emphasis in the Artist Alley program because we really do believe that the contents, even with all these licensed brands, they do come from the artists. We have a multiple program happening. Obviously, we have seen the drops increase with different artists. This month, we will be announcing new artists that's coming on board and their drop. We are going to also be rolling out a new product category, all brand new category that will be featured and focused on about a lower edition runs. And this will be coming out hopefully with the website interface coming out with a new way for our user to be participating in the auction process for these.
So those are things, just so I can wrap my head around that. So once the web platform rolls out and we have a little more formal program around what we're referring to as Artist Alley, but that'll include things like low run artworks, low edition run artworks, or maybe even one-of-ones.
Yeah, you can pretty much
I think that would be amazing.
All right. Well, maybe we'll edit this out on the cutting room floor. This goes. Just all right. So, well, speaking of the web platform, that is another item that has been a long time coming. Dan, I believe maybe you have a little something for us today.
Great. So yeah, very, very excited to launch the web platform. What I'm going to run you through today is a bit of a demo of how it all works. And as I've discussed in the past, really this is just a web interface to the app and the product that you're using now. So you can expect all of the same functionality, but the advantage of the web platform is that there will be additional features that we will be rolling out that will be web only. And in addition to that, we've really spent a bit of time improving areas like how the market works, the way you can view your collectible listings, what you're bidding on, what you're selling, what you're buying, just to provide a little bit more clarity to our users who do use the market. So starting off, as you can see across the top, we've got all the same main sections or categories that you see in the app, from store all the way through to profile. Right now we're on the store landing page, and most of you will probably recognize this. It's very, very similar. Across the top, we've got all of our main categories, from collectibles, comics, drops, brands. As we come down the page, we see all of our most recent drops, our most recent collectibles, comics, etc. So there's not going to be a huge learning curve to use the web platform. In fact, we've modeled it very closely after what everyone is used to.
This is fine.
So I can obviously dive into each of these sections and look through all of the individual collectibles that we've dropped in the store. I can choose to filter them, if I'm looking for specific items. Same with comics. I can come in and browse all of the comics that we've dropped on the VeVe platform. And one thing to note that we have kicked off a fairly big upgrade to the whole comics section. Now that we're getting a lot of comics in the platform, just different ways to filter them and find them and use them and read them, etc. Obviously, we've got our drop section where you can go back and look at all of our previous drops, whether that be collectibles or comics, and all of our different brands. Obviously, I was scrolling through this the other day and I was like, wow, there's a lot of brands in here that we've dropped. So the store, you can anticipate, will be very similar to what you're used to now on the app. And when we roll the web platform out, it will only use the waitlist drop model. So jumping into our collection, obviously at the top here, very similar to the app, we've got all of our showrooms across the top here. I can continue to add showrooms, manage them, and we can jump in and show you a preview in just a moment. As I scroll down my collection, I can of course see all of my collectibles. I can see all of the comics that I own, all of my different sets. Haven't currently got anything on my wish list, but I do have a couple of custom lists set up on this particular account. Of course, I can dive right into all of my collectibles and have a look at them. We've got some much better filtering and sorting features at the top here for our users. We know that they want to go in and say, I just want to see all my Batman black and whites. Another feature that we're rolling out for both comics and my collectibles is the estimated value. We can see up here this estimated value of this particular account collection. Please note this is a test one, so I wish it was 4.1 million, but
I was going to say. Holy mackerel.
Now, estimated value is basically the automatic calculation based on the floor price of each collectible you own, and then it will essentially update that a number of times per day, so you can really get clarity over what the total value of your collection is worth. And then we'll be expanding that feature in the future to again have your highs, lows, and your general sort of graph over time. Obviously, we can also dive into the comics that we own, so I can click on any comic, view all of the details. Because I own this one, I can choose to sell it. I can sell it as a fixed price, or I can sell it as an auction. And of course, we have the transfer feature for users that want to transfer them to others.
When people can convert ETH to Omi to buy these?
We'll jump back to the showroom in a moment. The feed I won't show you just yet. We're doing a few final little updates on that one, so I'm just going to jump straight to the market. Again, we've got the same trending feature that we have rolled out on the app. And you'll see on a lot of the collectibles, we're now using this little color code system down the bottom here. Some of which, you may have seen already in the app, but just to provide that little bit of extra clarity on, exactly what rarity the particular collectible is. Now, of course, like the app, I can go in and I can browse all of the collectibles. By default, this section will be filtered by date listed. So, if you are wanting to look at what's coming up, you can basically just refresh the screen. And of course, you can filter by all your brands and rarities, etc. Same deal for comics. I believe we've got one more filter to add up here, which so you can filter by series if you're wanting to, finish your collection of all the amazing Spider-Man or Captain America. Under My Bits, again, we've broken this down to be a little bit easier to use because this is a test account. Obviously, I'm not bidding on anything at the moment, but we could go in and have a look at, say, all the collectibles that I've lost bids on in the past, and why I lost, how many bids there were, all the particular collectibles that could have been that I've won, and then of course, when I come into this section, it'll have all of my open bids listed here right on the screen with a big Pay Now button and very specific instructions.
This is crazy.
If you need to take action on one of your auctions.
Just the
Same
first
deal with
iteration too.
my listings. We can come in here. We see we've got a Mooka for sale here with this test account. I can very easily add a listing, and in this particular case, I can choose to sell either a collectible or a comic. And so let's just say, let's go sell a common here. I can choose, of course, to sell it as a fixed price or an auction. I can enter the value, and then I could move ahead and click continue to list that in the market. And of course, we've included here the floor price of this particular comic, so you can actually get an understanding before you sell it, really what the lowest floor price is. But just remember that that's, if you have a good edition, that may influence that. So of course, we always recommend you do your own research when listing your items.
That's big. This is huge.
And then of course, you can browse by brand, etc. So really, we're just wanting to make sure that the web platform is very much in line with what we've got in the app. And really, myself and the team have been using this fairly significantly over the past couple of months. And it is so much easier to use than the app. I'm not saying the app, there's anything wrong with the app, but when you're sitting at a computer like me all day, and probably like a lot of you guys, being able to use the web platform just really makes the experience, I guess, feel not quite so claustrophobic. So really excited about rolling that out, and then all the additional features we have coming.
And if I'm not mistaken, for those who have Omi in their Omi wallet, that will also be reflected in the web platform as well, as opposed to having to go to the separate web wallet. Correct.
Actually, I didn't show the profile section, but yeah, you have full control over all of your wallets exactly in the same way. And eventually, everything that is in the web wallet now, which is omi.veve.me, all of that will be migrated and integrated into the web platform, and that will become the one web platform that we use for all of our features, browser-based features moving forward.
All right, so awesome. That looks fantastic. I'm really excited for that. Let's move on to just a few announcements as we kind of get towards the Ecomi Omi side of things. But just to wrap up on the VeVe side, David, can you tell us a little bit more about how the Ukraine refugee relief effort went with the Ron English drops?
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for all the fans who participate on this remarkable event that we came together in such a short space of time to do this relief effort. The total amount of money we have donated to the Red Cross New Zealand is over $782,000. And this is obviously, we have mentioned, it is taking out the Google, Apple platform fee, the sales tax, and the net revenue are to be donated. And the funds already have been distributed to the where it's already need from the phone call I had with Red Cross. And, we do have a message here from the Red Cross Secretary General addressing for our fans and our audience here.
I'm so grateful to VeVe, the whole VeVe community. This is an incredibly generous contribution at $782,000 towards the Ukraine crisis. We know that families and communities are really suffering, and the work of the Red Cross in the Ukraine and also in neighbouring countries means that those individuals and families can be supported through what is just an extraordinarily difficult time. So to David, to VeVe and to the VeVe community, thank you so much for such an amazing way to support those in the Ukraine that need it the most. Kia ora.
Just got the
Great.
chills.
That's amazing to know that the community was able to come together and know that they were helping in some way. But that is not the last we're going to see of some Ukraine relief efforts. Is that correct? We're really working on a few other drops with some other artists. Do we have any news on that right now, or do we want to just tease it a little bit?
Yeah, a number of artists have reached out to us, and they really this whole thing really clicks with them. Emphasize they want to bring out special releases. We are closely monitoring. We also do want to make sure that there are collectability around this for the users to get that utility value, knowing that the money is going to go into a good cause as well. So we will be announcing more to come. The relief effort issue, all our audience should know, is that it's not just going to be a one-off thing. We do strongly believe that it's going to take a number of years, if not a long period of time, to help these refugees or the regions to get back up on their feet again.
Great. That's great to hear. Okay, moving on. Let's talk a little bit about some new programs. I saw a funny meme, by the way, this week that said, all I wanted was NTL, but all I got was this crummy promo code. Funny, sure, but this promo code is actually really cool, and it's actually going to add a lot of the utility to our efforts that we've been talking about and the community has been asking for. So let's go into a little bit about what we saw with the comic promo code with the Marvel exclusive, and then future use cases for that.
Yeah, Alex, you're exactly right. This new feature opens up a significant layer of utility on top of VeVe. We're getting a lot more interest from our licensors and artists and partners about some form of real-world utility, and obviously we needed a way that we could link that. So let's say you go to event X, the ticket you have has a promo code on it, which we obviously work with our partners to provide, and then that promo code can be entered into VeVe to get specific and dedicated collectible drops related to that particular event. And obviously this could apply to many, many different things. So we are going to continue building on the promo feature. And we ran one just recently with the team, the Marvel Unlimited team over at Marvel. Marvel Unlimited is the comic book subscription app that Marvel owns and operates. And the whole idea here was that they had a big program running, and they wanted to send out these promo codes to their Marvel Unlimited fans to introduce them to VeVe and digital comic NFTs. And really, overall, it was a great success. So very much looking forward to using this feature to offer an extended engagement to our users in the future.
And that could be anything from maybe a little more elegant way to do the, buy a movie ticket and get the NFT, or rather the other way around, or, at events that we're going to be showing up in the future, that if you buy something physical, then you can redeem the digital counterpart, or whatever the case may be. I think it's amazing, and I'm really looking forward to kind of working on some of those programs with our licensors. Okay. Say that. I'm sorry, one more time.
I've got to say, I do love the meme.
I do. Yeah. Well, our community is funny most of the time. When I'm not on the receiving end of the joke. Okay. Let's talk about then. We touched a little bit about it right now, but physical and digital product update. I know we've mentioned in the past, and even when we were at DCon in Anaheim this late last year, we had a sign up for Ron English's Rabbit Grin statement of interest, rather, for Ron English's Rabbit Grin. Can you tell us about where we're at with that and any future physical digital efforts?
Yeah. So that the physical pieces have arrived to the regions that we are going to be sending them out. We have finalized the artwork of the NFT version of it. We had a bit of delay with supply chain, as everyone know that there was disruption. Once the artwork is minted, which I think will be coming weeks, we'll be basically going through putting all their blockchain numbers onto every certificate. We have an expression of interest. We'll be reaching out to these people. They are not your typical, $100, $200 collectible. They're in the thousands for this one. And we are working out logistically how we distribute the product out without fans selling that in the secondary market. This is a fully art collectible piece. It's not just an NFT. It comes with a full shebang in the box. Everything is well packed. What we don't want is we send out the code for the NFT. The users to start selling in a secondary market. They reach out to us to say, well, I no longer own the NFT. Could you send the physical piece to elsewhere? So logistically, we want to make sure that it's going to be a very smooth transaction in that. We are in full discussion with a couple very large physical toys and collectible manufacturers right now, brands.
Let's go.
Brands that you already know. You probably already collect them. They sell, if not in the tens of hundreds of millions of these collectibles throughout the world. And this is part of the whole thing why redemptions and all these physical clone what we call as a digital physical piece are being part of our roadmap. We will be rolling something out this year. We do want you to stay tuned. We do have some very exciting programs, and just stay put on that.
Awesome. Right on. All right, moving on to the, we're getting towards the end of season 3 here, and typically towards the end of seasons, we like to upgrade a collectible or two or improve things that we now have the engine or capability to improve. Not to say that anything's coming day and date with the season change, but is there anything you can tell us about any updates coming to collectibles in our collections these days?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. It's coming towards our season. A lot of our fans know that we do some celebration of the upgrades. So I can announce one of them here, that we will be upgrading the DeLorean time machine.
Let's go!
But this will only be upgraded to the interactive editions that you own.
So the common and ultra
there are 2 of the 3 edition that's interactive. So those 2 will be. And we will also have another brand with 2 pieces of the work that will be upgraded, and that we'll be announcing as part of our release drop coming up.
Ooh!
Awesome. That's perfect. I love that. Finally, we can drive around that DeLorean time machine again. All right.
Let's go.
Let's keep on with the announcements. Look, restrictions are loosening all around the world in terms of in real life events. We were able to get out to DCon last year to meet all of the VeVe fam, but unfortunately we were not able to be at either of the major Comic-Cons last year for a number of reasons. But we do plan on having some presence at some events this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, certainly. We do have. I believe that the DCon event we got in UK, we got the Anaheim.
Wait, hold on. We got to back all the way up here. That is big news. I hope you know that you're going to get Europe through the roof with that news. Can we just say it one more time with emphasis? Did I hear DCon London?
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
We have entered in a new partnership deal with DCon, and also. The whole program means we have a great offerings and new collectibles that will be coming out. we once again the designer toys is a big business. It's an important business in the industry. Celebrates a lot of these talents that eventually they move up to working for these large studios. So we want to encourage all these emerging artists. So that's coming. And obviously, without balancing the other side, we will need to be in some of these comic events. So we have put our hands up, obviously, for the San Diego Comic Con. We are also looking to investigate on the New York Comic Con. They are run by different organizations. It's very likely we will be partnering with our licensors with these events run in conjunction. And this is one of the reasons why it is very important that we get all these redemption codes, all these things ready.
Promotion
because
codes.
By the time we get to that time, this thing should be running very smooth.
Yeah, that'd be great. And maybe have some kind of that in real life utility where you possibly buy a physical item at Comic-Con and it's redeemable for the NFT counterpart. I think that's awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm very excited for one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Or even just giveaways, for people attending to show their face to support us.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, a T-shirt goes a long way, but a collectible.
Bullish
I,
news.
for one, am very excited to meet our UK and Europe family at DCon London. And again, reunite with everybody who came out to DCon Anaheim. And we look forward to digging in a little more on details for possibly one, if not two, Comic-Cons this year. So stay tuned for details on all of that. But let's go ahead and move on to Ecomi and Omi updates. Lots to cover here. So obviously this is not my side of the house. So Dan, I'm going to let you kind of run with the agenda points here. Do you want to start us out with tokenomics?
Yeah, so how about I start? I mean, so obviously, in this quarter, we did achieve one major milestone, which is the complete migration over to Immutable and Layer 2. That, in itself has basically was the first step for us to really start expanding on all of the, the NFT and the Omi side of things. So, moving into Q2, one of the key focuses is to really start building out the Omi and the OUP functions that we've been discussing in previous AMAs and blogs on our Medium channel. So we are very aware of the state of play with the tokenomics, with the wallets, how they work, and this past few weeks we have been starting to dig into exactly what we can do to improve the tokenomics, to get that ecosystem to be a little bit more cohesive. As Dave mentioned earlier, there's a whole the business has changed quite a lot since we rolled out the initial tokenomics, and then obviously the past 12 months has been nuts and crazy. But now that things have settled a bit, we know where the product direction is heading, and we very much want to start getting the Omi utility and Omi features built out into the app. That is kicked off with a review of the tokenomics and what we can do to improve that. I know there's a lot of questions around the reserve and around buybacks. All of those things we're basically addressing in this possible tokenomics update. That will also lead into the development of OUP, something that I'm also very excited about. I mean, being able to use Omi to NFT in the market, I think is going to be absolutely huge. Just that one feature alone, and we have a whole lot of other little satellite things around that that we will be developing as down the roadmap. And that's also going to include things like being able to participate in the drop lottery, using your Omi to participate in the drop lottery, as well as using your Omi to buy other various things in the product as well. So, as I mentioned earlier,
sorry, Dan, just for sake of clarification for the new folks, there, when we talk about the drop lot or drop raffle, I believe we were calling it now. Yep. Is that right? Okay. Yeah. So there's two of those happening, right? One as part of the Master Collector program, and one as part of the Omi Utility program, or OUP. And that is separate from the waitlist, correct?
Well, yes. Technically, it is all part of the waitlist, right? So, me as a user, I can go and join the waitlist. At that point, I have one entry in the waitlist because I've joined. Where the advantage, with the master collector program, the greater the level you are, the more of a master collector you are, you will basically get points, and then you can use those points to get additional entries into the waitlist. So rather than having one, maybe you'll have 5 or 10. And those same features get extended to Omi holders who can use Omi to basically buy additional slots in the waitlist.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So we'll be addressing those tokenomics. We'll be working on the Omi utility program updates. Any updates on potential additional staking tiers?
That is still one of the last things that I need to work out with the Omi utility program, which we started kicking off more of our review and discussion around that these past couple of weeks as we lead up to Q2, where we're really going to start building out and focusing on a lot of these features.
Okay, great. We just announced being listed on Bitmart. David, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we continue to find new partnerships where we see and it fits in our mandates. Bitmart's a great exchange. We've been talking to them for some time. They now becoming the top 10 or the top 15, depending on what the trading value is throughout the days. How we really want to address the token listing is to ensure that we take anything as a long-term approach as how we deal with every matter. We don't want a quick fix by listing at the biggest and greatest and have one spike. How we really see our business going forward is all about building fundamentals, building users, building holders, and active communities. We're not really wanting to build this business for individuals or one or two whales to benefit from the most. So you will see our approach continuously, not just in VeVe, but in Omi, is to ensure that there are trends, and we're going to see, we do monitor how many new active wallet, how many account, how much trading value, and how many fans or token holders in the Omi, and then we slowly move up in each tier of these exchanges as we go. So obviously we're on the top 10 exchanges. We already have another exchange that's top 10. We are looking for different spots, and you guys, I think users know who's on the top 10 and who's number 1. We're going to get there eventually. We have the way how we operate this business. We think very long term. And partnership is not just about exchange partnership. It's about other external partners in the game gamifications, other utility value in OMIs, how we can get all these other partnership engaged. It's all about getting more people involved, not getting more people just making money overnight, and this is it's just doomed to be failed, and just for one or two individuals to have the gains. And I just want to address, we do hear you, we know what exchange you want. It's not like you don't tell us every other minute. We are
it's not like Uncle Jeremy's out tweeting that Binance should list us or anything.
Yeah, we in contact with
Binance
most of the exchange. They do talk to us, maybe not in the daily or monthly, but when we see best fit in business practice, we'll engage. So do stay put. We do have more coming, but just keep in mind, they do coincide with everything I just mentioned to you. We do analyze the data. We want to see great holders. We want to see more fans, and we do want to see new fans. And, in every type of market, there's always new opportunity, and we use this opportunity to increase more new users. We use this opportunity to get more holders as well.
Awesome. All right. Okay. So we touched on a few of these other things already, including. Let's talk about the bridge update. And
this is big.
I think the latest update from Reese is that we were still waiting on IMX on that as well. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So we're working with them to get that bridge completed on their side. which will, hopefully coincide with some of the interoperable features we'll be working on from Q2.
Okay, perfect. All right, Omi, in the app update, maybe you want to touch on this last bullet, or did we already talk about that?
I think we pretty much covered that, yeah. Okay. All of the OUP, OMI utility, all getting kicked off very early Q2.
All right, perfect. All right, well, gentlemen, this has been amazing. I know we've had, some time away from the fam, or you've had some time away from the fam. I'm usually, trolling people on Twitter, and I'll get better about that. I promise. I said it before, but it's always good to hear from you guys directly about what the vision for the platform is and what we're working on, and ways that we can continue to improve the entire ecosystem from VeVe to the Omi side. So let's look forward to doing this on at least a monthly basis. And make sure that we're keeping everybody abreast of all of the updates. We will work on being as transparent as we can with some of the updates. We do hear you about where we're at on certain things, be it payout or MCP, etc. So we'll work on ways to kind of publish frequent updates either in the Discord or on Twitter or our Medium blog, etc. That said, for Reese, I've been Alex G here with David Yu and Dan, our co-founders here at VeVe, and we appreciate you joining us today in this hour-long sesh. Please let us know either on Twitter or in the comments down below if you have any further questions, and we'll be sure to address them in a future Twitter Spaces or Discord AMA. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Any parting words?
Just like to say, once again, thank you to our audience. You have been, for the most part, patient. We discussed, we do listen to everything you say. We're, not sitting behind closed curtains. And we are just as eager to get a lot of these features out as you are.
Yeah, and just last word for me. Thanks for everyone again for the Ukraine relief. It means a lot in our community, and it's a great cause, and we hope, everything will get better from here. And please do enjoy your collectibles and have fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you, everybody. That'll do it for today, and we'll catch you next time.
Let's go. Big time. Shout out to everybody who joined the live stream today. Appreciate you, My Collectibles, tuning in, the super chats. Everybody's support, amazing. I think it was a great live stream. I think a lot of people will say they were disappointed. It was a bunch of soons. But again, that's what they said it was going to be. They just wanted to give us an update on the progress of all the things that we've been waiting on. So I think the web app, them showing it was amazing. I think a lot of people were surprised about that. I was surprised about that too. I think that's going to be the game changer. When people can go on the desktop, convert their E to Omi and just shop on all these collectibles that they love seamlessly on the desktop, I think it's going to be amazing. I think the interview got even better too as it went on. So that's always great too. And I got amazing news. I finally got my super followers enabled on Twitter, so anyone can become a super follower on Twitter now. It's because of you guys, the support. I started my Twitter account with 200 followers. Just last April or May, I hopped on an old account. I just came on for Ecomi Updates with 200 followers. And because of you guys, the whole year, it's gone up to, I think, over 14,000 followers. And finally got the super followers enabled too. So a lot of behind the scenes content, unscripted JD thoughts whenever, I'm feeling whatever I'm feeling in my mind. So appreciate you guys, for all the support. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview, the live stream. The chat was amazing. I'm going to be tuning out. Appreciate you guys big time. Till next time, it's your boy, Johnny Dunn. We out, fam.